Woo! We're gonna be getting some Endo today, boys. So I got a little bit of a system. It's the ABC system. Today's video is gonna be about A, arbitrations, B, bounties, and C, cost efficiency. So if you already know about arbitrations, you already know about bounties and all that for Endo farming, you know, check out the next episode, probably save yourself some time. This one's not for you. If you want me to elaborate a little bit further and show you how you can solo play, you know, reliably get as much Endo as possible with as least effort as possible, this is a good video for you. So first things first, I want it to be known, Sedna is technically the best Endo farm, but you only are getting Endo from this farm, and it requires a really specific loadout and a really specific team. You kind of need to have, you know, a bunch of parts together. It's complicated. So I'm not going to get into this. This is not in today's video. I am doing arbitration and bounties. So let's get into A, arbitration. All right, so A for arbitration, and I've opened it back up to public because more people equals more enemies spawning equals more loot. It's just nice, right? Arbitration is a bit of an end game thing. So whenever you go in, there's a couple of suggestions that I would make. So namely, have a really tanky frame that you're confident that you're not going to die on, because arbitration is a one life kind of event. You can be revived, but it's a little bit it's a little boring. Just stand there and hope that the random teammates will bring you back. Second thing that I would suggest, highly suggest, is get yourself a pet. It could be a Kavat, Kubro, it doesn't matter. As long as they have this mod here, Resourceful Retriever, 18% chance to double resource pickups, because there is an item called Vitus Essence that we'll get from killing these little droney boys. And yeah, we can use those to our advantage. We can get a lot of juice out of those. So let's just pop in and actually do an arbitration together. Arbitration shield drone. So he's tethered to these two enemies here, making them invulnerable from any ability damage, and himself included. So a good AoE clearing weapon like the Torrid or whatever you like is key for going ahead and killing those guys, because abilities won't do damage to them or the things that they have tethered. And you'll see this little snowflake looking icon there. That's what they drop. So we got 2 Vitus Essence, and that's because I have boosters active right now, but that could have been doubled to 4 because of the Resourceful Retriever. When someone dies, whenever you kill those little drones that we were talking about that drop the Vitus Essence, they'll actually drop these as well now. Oh, we got adaptation for our 10-minute reward. Nice, a lot's happening all at once, sorry. But then you'll take it to their little death pillar here. So we're gonna go kill those little RB drones. We'll collect a bunch of those little orange gem things. They'll be indicated on the map. There's one over there. And then we'll go revive our guy, help him out. So I just got one there. Pick up this one. We need 2 more. All right, this should be the last one we need right here. We'll get our friend back. And then just to be nice, because I'm on Revenant, I can go ahead and make them invincible for the next 5 hits. Be careful, you know, you die. And if you don't have a good teammate that can bring you back, you guys can fail this mission pretty easily. So bring somebody that's tanky and that you're confident that won't die. All right, well, they left me. I'm all by myself now. Whenever the host leaves, by the way, if you're on Revenant or anybody else, you need to make sure that you recast your abilities, because it takes your Mesmer skin off. So if I just spaced out there and I was in front of all those enemies and they killed me, I would have just lost everything for the past 16, 17 minutes there. And bam, 1200 Endo. Good enough. But in 20 minutes, we got 2,500 Endo plus another, I don't even know how much this is, maybe like 1,500 to another 2,000. Let's just call it like 4,000 Endo in 20 minutes. But we got adaptation, which sells for a decent amount of platinum. We got 22 Vitus Essence, which we can use to buy even more stuff, and 100k credits. And some other pretty cool, useful stuff. Could have been better, could have been worse, but overall, you know, that's a healthy little chunk of Endo for 20 minutes worth of time investment. All right, so that was survival. 20 minutes, 4,000 Endo, 22 Vitus Essence, but that's with boosters and the Resourceful Retriever mod. So take that into consideration. Your mileage may vary. But here's the rotational reward. So A, B, C. You can see there, a lot of Endo, a lot of Ayats and sculptures there. So defense missions, because now it's only 3 rounds per rotation, defense is going to give you much more Endo. If Endo specifically is what you're going for, do defense. So we got a little bit unlucky with the Endo rewards in general, but we still got 10,000 raw Endo and probably another, like, I don't even know. These are like 1,500, 2,000 each-ish. And then 111 Vetus Essence. Pretty sweet. We got some Arcanes down here that kind of chewed into our Endo gains that we could have potentially gotten. But overall, yeah, for 47 minutes, 48 minutes, that's not terrible. 111 Vetus Essence and 15,000-ish. Endo, 400k credits without a booster. Yeah, I'll take it. Let's talk about some bounties. Specifically, we're going to be going in order of, prioritization. From the ones that I would prioritize first is going to be tier 5 exterminate bounties in Zariman, tier 5 exterminate bounties in Deimos, then Alvania, so the 1999 stuff. We're going to be doing both 2 different exterminations and a capture even is possible there. So that's really sweet. And then if we get super, super unlucky and none of those have any of the good bounties, then we can just spam Deimos tier 5 bounties over and over for the first round and do the little coin flip. And, maybe we make 1,000 Endo every 2 or 3 minutes or so. So we'll get into all of this in more depth, but I wanted to give you a overall breakdown to maybe save you some time if you're not interested in going a little bit more deep into it. But if you are, let's go into Zariman first. Alright, so we zeroed out the Endo here so we can get an idea of how much we make per like 2 hours. So specifically you're looking at the last 2 bottom bounties because they're going to have roughly the same rewards. So let's take a look at the rewards here. We've got 3,000 Endo, 4,000 Endo, and even the occasional Aya from time to time. And we're getting a ton of Void Plume Quills from this as well. You can complete this extermination mission in roughly 2 to 3 minutes. You can play solo non-steel path if you'd like. All right, so we didn't get lucky here, but we did get 8 Void Plume Quills and 1 Steel Essence. We didn't hit the Endo, but it only took 2.5 minutes to do even on Steel Path. But if you can't handle Steel Path, there's no shame in that. Do it on normal, and if you're going for Endo, it's just going to be that much faster. So I'm going to go ahead and run this for the next like 2 hours, well, an hour and a half at this point on regular, and we'll see how much Endo I get after like 2 hours of running these missions. Alright, so this one's a little bit more RNG dependent. You could go like 5 bounties in a row without receiving Endo once, but getting 4,000 Endo in 3 minutes is pretty sweet. So overall, we ran it for about 2 hours. We got 25,000 Endo almost. That's not too bad. A little over 12,000 Endo per hour with this strategy. And I would say that I even got kind of unlucky with the bounties overall. Usually I'd get around 18 to 20,000 per hour. So yeah, and then a nice byproduct, Void Plume Quills. Just tons, like days worth of standing cap that's just staved up. So a whole bunch of standing that we can spend on Arcanes and other really good stuff from Caballero. But yeah, Phalarx, Praetos, Fenmore, you're simultaneously building up a bunch of power. The Latum is just insane god mode weapon here. And then, yeah, so we're getting a bunch of Endo and we're getting a bunch of power creep, really strong weapons, and really, really useful Arcanes here on top of Amp Arcane adapters and some sweet swag. Who wouldn't love this ephemera? Like, this thing looks sick. But you want to make sure that right here below where it says the levels, so 5 quills, levels 110 to 115, right below that is the text. Destroy 3 Void Angels. Keep Exo Dampers intact. Do you really want to go into this mission and then have to stay in there long enough to actually kill 3 angels just for 3 or 4,000 Endo? Probably not. All right, fish boy, settle down. Okay, I changed my mind. We're going to talk about this for a second because it's kind of relevant. So the reason that I like Zariman more is because the standing is being stored into the form of quills, right? To be able to be cashed in at any point in the future. So if you're doing the bounties here, they're obviously the same. Common rewards giving 3,000 Endo, uncommon giving 4,000, right, for both the bottom 2. Neither of these are exterminate, by the way, so we would just get out of here. But at a certain point, once you reach your cap, you keep doing these missions, we're wasting 5,000 standing each time we do the mission, and we're only getting Endo at that point, and it's a little bit sad. So that's why I think Zariman is slightly better than the Anatomica, but, they're roughly the same, more or less. And if you still need standing here, getting Endo and standing, ranking them up to 5, once you master them all the way up to 5, you can talk to the little bird boy over here. If you have enough, we can go ahead and just buy an extra shard every week, and it's pretty sweet. So on top of that, he's got actual normal wares. Melee influence is borderline broken OP. Melee Vortex is really cool. A lot of these are really cool. Melee Fortification has its place as well. Arcane adapters, some really nice stuff here. Eidolon lenses. Yeah, I think you get the point. So getting standing alongside getting Endo is really great. All right, now last but not least, we've got the Hex here. So here in Helvania, we have a little bit of a difference. So it's almost the exact same thing in terms of just like, you know, the common and uncommon rewards, the last two, the tier 5 missions, offering a ton of Endo. But now we have 3 chances for it to proc in the right spot. So we've got 1 Exterminate, 2 Exterminate, and a Capture. So the odds here in Helvania that one of those 3 mission types is going to land in one of these last 2 slots, we got 6 chances at hitting. So yeah, the chances are pretty good that we're going to have a fast mission that rewards us with a lot of Endo. Now, me personally, I need to still be doing a lot of grinding here because we haven't even gotten ours up to rank 5 yet, but I've been neglecting it a bit for, you know, prioritizing other things. But, you know, since we need Endo, might as well go ahead and rank up while we're doing it at the exact same time. But that's really the only real difference, is more chances for it to proc in the right spot. So I legitimately just joined this mission and they were already extracting. So I did nothing. I just ran to extraction. And yeah, we got 4,200 Endo in a minute and a half. I'll take it. Pretty nice. 5,000 of our daily standing as well. Sweet. Wish that happened more often. So let's pretend like all 3 of these last locations we've talked about, the Zariman, the Sanctum Anatomica, and Helvania, let's pretend none of these were exterminate missions or, you know, good mission types to actually run. So what would our options be at that point? We don't have an arbitration going right now that's good, and none of the bounties are worth running. So if that's the case, then we have Deimos, Necrolisk, tier 5 missions. Well, Derek is just slapping me in the face with his tentacles. He's got no concept of boundaries whatsoever, but here we are hanging out with Mama. Ayo, mother. We're gonna look at her bounties real quick. She's got one here. It's a T5. It's level 40 to 60. Let's take a look at this real quick. So tier 5, level 40 to 60 in Deimos. We basically have a coin toss, right? Is it gonna be 1,000 Endo or is it gonna be an Iatan Amber Star? And we don't want to go past stage 1 because then the drop pool gets a little bit bigger, and we're trying to get Endo, right? For the most part. So 50% chance roughly that we're gonna get Endo or Iatan Amber Star, which is also Endo. That's a really nice round number for us to start with. So 40,000 Endo. We got 23 minutes left, so I guess we're gonna do 20 minutes. All right, I'll do 20 minutes. I'll see you in a bit. All right, so last thing I failed to mention, it's pretty much AFK, right? Like, we're just standing there. So I've got Yendo from episode 8, our elite crewman, and I've got Deriga from episode 9, just soloing the mission for me while I munch on some chicken. So I'm just eating some dinner, hanging out. I do a little wiggle every once in a while, our casting ability, but yeah, 1,000 Endo. You don't even have to go back. You could just exit the mission. You get to keep your mission bounty rewards. And yeah, under 2 minutes, 1,000 Endo while eating. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, 2 minutes and 45 seconds left, so we don't have enough time to do one more. But realistically, you can do this any point at any time. It doesn't need to say cleanse the land or salvage or brute force or for science, core samples. It doesn't matter. It's going to be random regardless, right? So I've only been doing this for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half or so, and I've got 375 mother tokens as well. So that's quite a lot. In fact, so is this enough? 280 for me is 28,000. So we just hit our cap and we still had, what, 100 left over? And I didn't even farm it for that long, like realistically. So this moment of truth, what do you think? We started at 40,000, we farmed it for 20 minutes. It's 2 minutes-ish per run, 2 to 3 minutes per run. We got one dud. So we did maybe like 7 or 8 runs at a 50% chance. So I'm thinking we made 4,000 or 5,000 Endo. We made 5,000 Endo. 5,000 Endo in 20 minutes. So you're not going to get crazy amounts of Endo, but early on, mid-game, early, late game, this is a very viable source for Endo. 5,000 Endo in 20 minutes is pretty respectable. Now, It wouldn't feel right to have an endo related video without at least mentioning the quote unquote best endo farm. Now, taking into consideration, this is very, very demanding. This is not beginner or noob friendly. This is some sweaty stuff. So if you're really looking to get into min-maxing and you want to make millions of endo, you know, pretty quickly, then yeah, we're gonna go ahead and come to this Discord right here, Warframe Endo. I'll link that in the description for easy access. But yeah, here's the guide. This is just the introduction. Look how much information there is here. They're gonna hold your hand step by step. Here's the Korra related portion, and just it's a lot. It's a lot. But if you're dedicated, then yeah, you know, you stand to make a lot of endo, and you can make a lot of platinum from it as well. So it depends on how much you're willing to commit. But me personally, this is kind of beyond me. I'm not really that interested in it. Same with the arbitration. Arbitration, you can go in random, like willy-nilly with just some random people and hope for the best, or you can join this Discord here, Warframe Arbitrations. And what's really cool about Warframe Arbitrations is it'll show you the current arbitration that's active. So this one ends in 15 minutes, but it also has like a tier list here. So this is only a C tier, and you can go ahead and do it. I'm only really interested in B tier and above for time efficiency. So just this portion of the Discord by itself is already pretty valuable to me, but you can find groups, and there's also a guide just like the Endo guide, where it just kind of walks you through, and it's just a ton of information. What's the best frames to use, which the best Archon shards, the best weapons, anything that you could ever want to know. They've done a terrific job putting everything together, and you can find all that information here in Warframe Arbitrations. I'll also link this in the description as well. So let's go to C, cost effectiveness or cost efficiency, right? So I want to talk to you a little bit about galvanized mods. They're very expensive to level up. So here's an unranked one, and it's going to cost us 30,000 endo to max it out, but it would only cost us 7.6 thousand to get it to rank 8. So from rank 8 to max, we're going to go from 98% to 120%. So basically 20%. That's a pretty good increase, but at the cost of freaking what, 714, nearly 4 times, right? Because it doubles each time. So it's going to cost from unranked to rank 8, it's only 7.6 thousand. Then it's going to double to 15,000. Then it's going to double again to 30,000. So it's pretty insane. It ramps up. So getting all of your mods to rank 8 is usually significantly smarter and more endo efficient than trying to rank 1 at a time all the way to max, right? So here's our 30,000 endo budget. Now we can spend all of it on a single mod to get it all the way up, or we could spend a fourth of it on this mod to get it to 80% effectiveness, right? So let's say we spend all 30,000 on one mod at 100% effectiveness. So now we just have a number of 100. Or we could get this to 80, right? We could get this one to 80 as well. And, you know, it would only cost 7,600. And then we could get another one to 80 and another one to 80. So that's 320%. So for the same endo cost of 30,000 endo, we are getting just significantly more value out of it by only upgrading your mods up to, you know, 8 or 9. And then slowly, you know, obviously I use Galvanized Chamber a ton. Maybe I use this on like 5 or 6 different guns, and I'm like, oh, dude, I'm gonna get a lot of value. Because now it's not just, oh, it's only 8%. Well, that 8% is being applied to 5 or 6 different guns, right? So like it's a lot of value. So maybe now it's worth that 15,000 endo for that 7.3%. One last thing to wrap it up. We're going to talk about my Darragh here from last episode. I only format him 4 times. Now that might seem a lot to quite a bit of people watching this. They're like, dude, you re-leveled it 4 times, you put 4 format into him. Well, I have 3 capacities, so technically I could rank up Primed Animal Instinct and max it out, or Primed Regen and max it out. But what am I getting? 20,000 endo for 3 seconds? Are you really gonna see that? Are you really gonna notice that? No, you're not. And then what, 20,000 endo for an extra 5 meters or 3 meters here? Why? You know, just my opinion, my preference, my personal opinion, that seems crazy. I would rather spend this, what, 20,000 plus another 20,000. I'd rather spend 40,000 endo making a completely new build. At the end of the day, I guess what I'm trying to say is don't let somebody like this make you feel bad about yourself. If you use it a lot on a lot of multiple builds that you frequently are using, then yeah, absolutely max it out. But I benefit from maxing out Galvanized Diffusion? Absolutely, it's amazing. Is it worth the 15,000 Endo? For me? Yeah, probably. I use this a lot. So, 15,000 Endo, not gonna think about it. Now we have a fully maxed out build. Now let's do the exact same thought process behind this. Do I really need this 5% ability strength? I mean, it technically is beneficial, it helps, but me personally, I don't want to go ahead and form a re-level just for that 5%. And then, you know, maybe that's not really worth 15,000 for me. So it's up to you, right? Don't let somebody tell you that you're bad at the game or you suck or whatever, just because your mods aren't fully leveled up. It's an insane thing, and they shouldn't be worried so much about other people's stuff to begin with, in my opinion. You know, just ignore them. They're just trolls. So yeah, let's wrap things up with a thank you, and here's the winner of last episode's giveaway. All right, 739 people entered, and Fallen Angel 9127 wins the Heirloom pack. So we got a hold of them in game, and yeah, they were quite happy. So congratulations, Fallen Angel. And for everybody else, please join the Discord. Here's confirmation that they received their Heirloom pack. We have gifts going on all the time. Discord in the description. All right, so that leaves us with 200,000 Endo and nothing to really spend it on realistically. So, I mean, priorities and preferences obviously are different from person to person. If you're a min-maxer, there's nothing wrong with that gameplay style, brother. I absolutely vibe with it 100%. I really do. My turret is like 7 or 8 forma at this point. I get it. There's room for both play styles, right? I just like to make 20 builds, whereas you maybe only like to make 1 or 2 builds and invest heavily into those 1 or 2 and perfect them, where I'm cool with making 20 builds and getting them all to 80% because that's good enough for me. Right? I'm very much a good enough variety type player where you may be I want this to be perfect before I move on, and I want to do one task completely and totally before starting the next. Both are valid. I am totally burnt out on Warframe. I have played the game for 8 to 12 hours a day, every single day. When I'm not playing, I'm watching videos, doing research. When I'm not doing that, I'm answering questions in the Discord or the comments of my videos. When I'm not doing that, I'm having dreams about Discord and comments and playing the game. So Warframe has genuinely been, from the second I wake up until the second I go to sleep, for about 2.5 months of my life at this point. And, you know, it's time for new things. So I'm not ending the series. We're 100% going to revisit. There will be an episode 11, 12, 13, all the way up to 15, I believe. We should be able to get total of 15. So we're about 66% of the way through the series, but I am going to take 2 or 3 weeks off. Grounded 2 just came out. It's a game I've been looking forward to for a while. I'm going to play that with some friends in the Discord. Yeah, I'm just going to go play a little crazy survival game for a little bit and take a break and recharge the cells a little bit. So I hope you understand. I hope you're looking forward to next episode. Can't be sure when it's coming out, but it'll be before 2026 because, you know, we might just be doing a 2026 series as well. Why not? All right, Chompy, hold the fort down. No parties, no people past midnight. Go to bed at a reasonable time. Just because it's the summer doesn't mean we're gonna screw up our sleeping schedule, right? I'll be back in a couple of weeks. Trust in you. All right, guys, I'm out of here. As always, have a good night. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon.